the man who's currently actually down a game in the bottom right-hand corner of Coda. I'm glad I got that right. Representing Dust Gaming, it is the Blue Terran. Hailing from Korea, both players are named after the weapon we also love. It is the one, the only, Spear.
Yes, it is. And up in the top left-hand corner, it is the red Protoss winning game one with a nice aggressive expand. It is our red Protoss player, Arthur.
For a second, in my head, it clicked that you were telling me like I should finish it for some reason in my head. I have no idea why, but I was like, I never finish it. But does he want me to? Is this like? Does he want me to finish its intro? I don't know. I don't know what happened right there.
I don't know. You know more than me. I don't know anything.
Well, it looks like a one-gate fast expand from Arthur. Nothing too crazy so far. On this map, I think the one thing that makes Coda and Echo very similar is they do look alike a lot. But I mean, just where the third and fourth bases are placed, obviously they're very, very similar on both maps. But the third base that is, how am I going to say this, in front of their main is just a lot wider than Echo. And like I was just saying, taking that base, it's very easy to harass, and we know Spear really loves his harass now. It's going to be key whether Arthur's going to take this into the mid game or take it in the early game or kind of wait into the late game, because there's just so many little nooks and crannies you can get into on this map. It's not huge. I mean, it is very big. It's not gigantic, though, but it's just very, very wide open and tons of little places you can go.
Yeah, pretty good for drops as well. When you do take either third base, or when you take the fourth base, you can very easily hop between the main and the natural with these drops. Just be very, very annoying. Or between the main and the third base, even with the drops, or fourth base, whichever base you take here. And you can do similar between natural here, or hide a medevac sort of up in this overlord hiding spot sort of position, or just back here in the airspace, back here in the airspace, back here in the airspace. There's lots of airspace,
lots of airspace,
and hide medevacs in.
Abuse.
Wait until
I love that. Abuse. It makes you feel like you shouldn't, though, when you say abuse. It's like, that's not right, man. But Arthur will be abusing his Protossiness and doing a hidden pylon, not really a proxy pylon, but Spear getting right into that main base actually will be pushed off. And interestingly enough, Spear sees no workers in that assimilator after he pulls out. So, I mean, I'm guessing he'll assume workers go into that, but that may be a little bit of a psych out for Spear, saying, oh wait, there's nothing in that second assimilator. What's going on?
Yeah, it could be a little bit interesting. Could mislead him, or he might just think, well, it's about the time for the second assimilator to finish up. I don't know, really, but
make me look smart, Trigonal.
I don't know whether it's the right time for the second assimilator to finish up. I'm not that good at PvT. All I do is
let me think about it
in every day. But anyway,
it was about the right time.
Okay, cool.
Then I think about it.
Cool. But yeah, Arthur does have this proxy pylon out on the map. I was kind of expecting to throw some tech down at it, probably a Stargate, but it looks like he's just kind of got it out there as a way to be a bit deceptive, or just, it's always useful to have a proxy pylon. Okay, this is interesting now, because Arthur's gone for a Stargate, and Spear has scouted his base. He's scouted the number of pylons. He knows there is a pylon out on the map. And if I'm Spear, I think, okay, there's a pylon out on the map. Somewhere is a proxy Stargate. I have to prepare for this. And then for Arthur to go Stargate anyway? I'm not sure what I think about it. On the other hand, like, Spear isn't actually reacting too much to the Stargate, to the threat of a Stargate. So I guess, an Oracle could do some damage here.
Yeah, definitely an Oracle could do some damage. Now, I'd like to point out, even though Spear's doing a common build, we actually saw him do this exact build versus Panda Bear Me, but he was being pushed quite aggressively and started this CC between the two supply depots. So, I mean, even though it's not really huge, that is the same build, and we're going to see him start to really kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? He's going to start, he's going to start getting a lot of damage through these Hellions now. The Phoenixes may actually counter them, but I'm kind of curious whether he's going to go into Hellbats unlike the previous games. Looks like he's actually going to be pulling out double Widowmine. I'm really liking the utilization of this reactor to the fullest. But on the other side for Arthur, I mean, he already preemptively did that Photon Overcharge. It does his 50 extra energy, but it's just going to be very interesting how this kind of plays out. Arthur does have one Phoenix, though, out on the map.
Yeah, and the choice to do Phoenix is rather than Oracle is interesting. The then follow-up Oracle? I mean, it's going to work. Spear actually has gone, okay, he's going Phoenixes. We're just going to see Phoenixes.
Yeah. It's great.
His units aren't in position to defend against an Oracle. It could do an enormous amount of damage. Spear's units are all across the map trying to attack, and this could win off the game. Now, the Monster Core, as you say, doesn't have the Photon Overcharge ended yet, but it will in about 20-30 seconds or so. However, Arthur has to hold on until then. He doesn't even have a critical kind of Phoenix count where he can start to fight these Marines. So we'll have to see him do the best he can. The Widowmines get a big burrow up. They're going to go off on a Zealot. No, they're not. They actually...
Ooh, actually, a couple probes.
One of them goes off on the Mothership Core. Another one goes off on the Phoenix, but the Oracle gets focused down very, very quickly. The Mothership Core follows soon after without the chance to cast that Photon Overcharge. And Spear is going to trade off these units for as cost efficiently as possible, killing off the Phoenix, killing off the Oracle, killing off the Mothership Core. But for now, Arthur has to retreat. The threat of these Widowmines is a little bit too great. Spear's going to move them forwards, trying to get them into the mineral line. This can deny mining here at their natural for quite some time. Yeah, I don't know if Arthur really needs to do that. There's a possibility he could have like baited it into the assimilator, but that's a bit like hot plays. I don't know.
Yeah, as you were saying, there was not quite enough Phoenixes to actually deal with that, but they did take out one medevac, which really deterred the rest of the units maybe of being picked up and boosting. But on the left-hand side, there is a boosted medevac heading into the main base with a couple Marines and that Widowmine. There is the Observer finally, but the units are completely out of position and no Mothership Core to be able to Photon Overcharge. A key, actually, wow, huge Artosis pylon right there, but won't actually be capitalized on, and Spear just decides, you know what, I'm going to get out there, I'm going to get out while I'm ahead, and he really, even though he lost a decent amount, I feel like both players are kind of, neither player is like, I got this, I'm going to push forward, and I like games like this, because both players are still, no one has gotten that key edge they need to get, but I just like to point out, that is like the biggest Artosis pylon ever, a gateway, a robo facility, a Stargate, a Cyber Core, all on one pylon.
Yeah, there's it's not ideal if that gets sniped. But yeah, the Robo Bay and another gateway on another pylon up here. I've thrown down two more pylons. I think one of these pylons might power the warp gate or the gateway. I don't know. But yeah, the rest of it completely powered by that one pylon.
It may barely get a gateway.
Maybe. Hopefully we never find out. Hopefully for Arthur there is. But yeah, after making the transition towards Colossi, I wanted to see Phoenix Colossus because I love Phoenix Colossus, but I guess it was not to be, not today. However, you can see a little bit of Warp Prism Harass coming in here. Spear kind of woefully underprepared at home. His army actually moving out across the map at a really bad time, so he's going to have to pull all his SCVs. Luckily for him, the production cycle finishes up at almost exactly the same time, so he's got a decent force here at home to be able to deal with it, and Arthur is going to have to back off.
There is a probe though coming down the left-hand corner for Arthur and may block that third base, but what is pretty much essentially being blocked for Arthur here is any third base from Spear. He really just has a lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders in this force, actually a lot of Marauders in this force, which denies almost the entire army of Arthur. There's just very little here for Arthur, and I think actually Spear can take this head on. Photon Overcharge does go on. Colossus will for sure go down. There's no Warp Prism to do a little bit of micro. The Phoenixes are there though, and they're going to be able to work on this medevac, which is going to be really key to deny Spear a repetitive attack, but it looks like, ooh, that medevac will be taken out. These Phoenixes can't pick up the Marauders, and they are pushed back, and that was really key. They're taking out that medevac because that disallows Spear from instantly picking up and maybe going to the main, doing a lot of different things. There are the medevacs here, but there's not the army really to utilize. A couple more units are coming across the map, but he did lose that Colossus, which is key. And these Phoenixes are going to have a little bit of free reign on these medevacs, but actually deciding not to, pulling back. And there is another Colossus to reinforce Arthur, but there's no meat shield, literally no ground units at the moment.
Yeah, he needs some big Zealot Warpins or something to actually protect this Colossus, just keep the bio from jumping on it, because that's what we saw happen last time. I think he's got Thermal Lance now. I can't actually tell because some tooltips are off, but
he did.
Oh, yeah, I can tell. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's going to help a lot in protecting these Colossus. They won't have to get in range of the Marauders to actually attack them. The upgrades, though, really poor for Arthur. He kind of needs to get back up on that. Spear, he's gonna do a big doom drop into the main. Arthur, though, those Phoenixes are so good at denying that. You do not want to be caught by Phoenixes, and Arthur knows that. He knows Spear's drop heavy style, and he's going to throw down a second Stargate so he can double produce these Phoenixes. The only problem is this is so horrendously gas intensive. He needs to take a third base soon, and it's difficult to do that in the face of all this relentless aggression from Spear.
Ooh, he actually is taking the third base right as you're saying that, and will move up to defend it, but there's very little to actually do. This extended thermal lance so huge in this. That provides Arthur just a little bit of a buffer to keep pushing Spear away, and I think you're getting what you wanted, a Phoenix Colossus style. Maybe not for the reasons you did, but they're still doing a lot of damage. They will pick off one medevac, another medevac going down. Actually, a Widow Mine almost goes down on the Phoenixes. Finally, all the medevacs down, but third base is canceled, and a decent army of Spear moving into the natural base. Photon Overcharge does go down and keep pushing. Arthur is pushing Spear back, but even though Arthur keeps pushing Spear back, and Arthur even as an observer on top of the army, it's just on the other side of the map, Spear is so far ahead in economy and doing just wonders defending any type of Warp Pit Prism harass. But actually, there's a little bit of there's a probe in the third base of Spear.
Yeah, I mean, there were two probes in this base at one stage. One down here, one up there. I think Arthur's actually forgotten about this probe, which will be a bit of a shame. Either way, he's got a proxy pylon down in the kind of left-hand corner here. He's going to start walking in there, but engagement coming down the middle. Few shots go down. Spear has a lot of Marauders here, and they do catch some of the Stalkers, but these Colossi start doing their work, but no ground tanking left over, and Spear's going to push forward with these Marauders, and Marauders are going to melt the Colossus. GG!
GG!